My name is Rachel Combs. I'm 34 years old. 3 months ago, I stood in a glass-walled boardroom and called a man replaceable in front of 40 of my coworkers. He didn't flinch. He just closed his laptop and walked out. I laughed. Everyone laughed. I thought I'd won. I didn't know he owned the company. I didn't know the badge under his jacket had his name on the deed, on the payroll system, on my own contract. I didn't know he'd been sitting in that meeting for a reason. Watching me. Testing me. Before I tell you what actually happened, if you're new here, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. And drop a comment below, where are you watching from? Because what happened next wasn't loud. It was quiet. Controlled. And it ended everything I thought I'd built. Let me take you back to when it all started. The boardroom smelled like coffee and fear. Mine, not his. I stood at the head of the table. Papers in hand. 12 executives watching. He sat near the back. Gray shirt. No tie. Notebook, not a laptop like everyone else. I didn't know his name. Didn't care to ask. Can someone explain, I said, why maintenance staff are sitting in on strategy meetings? A few people laughed. He didn't. I kept going. This isn't a place for note-taking hobbies. If you want to learn business, there's a library downtown. The room went quiet in that specific way, the kind where people enjoy it, but pretend they don't. He closed his notebook. Slow. Deliberate. Stood up. Thank you for your time, he said. Nothing else. He walked out. Didn't slam the door. Didn't argue. I felt powerful. I felt right. 3 people came up to me after. Told me I handled that well. I believed them. I didn't know that man had signed my paycheck for 2 years. I didn't know what was coming. I'd worked at Halden Group for 6 years. Climbed fast. Senior Operations Director by 32. People respected me. Or feared me. I never checked which. My morning started at 5 a.m. gym, coffee, emails before anyone else logged in. I liked being first. I liked being sharp. I had a corner office. A parking spot with my name painted on it. A reputation for getting results, and for not being kind about it. My assistant, Priya, once told me people called me the axe behind closed doors. I laughed when she said it. Good, I told her. Means they're paying attention. I believed toughness was the only language that worked. Kindness, I thought, was for people who hadn't been burned yet. I had been burned. Twice. Once by a boss who took credit for my work. Once by a man I almost married. So I built walls. Thick ones. Nobody got past them. Nobody questioned me. Until him. That gray-shirt man with the notebook. Something about him unsettled me, and I hated being unsettled. I decided to find out exactly who he was. I had no idea I already knew the answer. I asked Priya about him the next morning. Facilities, I think, she said. Or maintenance. He's been around a while. Doing what exactly? She shrugged. Fixing things. Walking around. Nobody really knows. That answer irritated me more than it should have. I saw him again 2 days later. Fixing a jammed door near the executive elevator. Sleeves rolled up. Screwdriver in hand. I walked past without a word. He looked up. Nodded once. Morning. I didn't answer. To me, he was background noise. Furniture that moved. The kind of person you didn't need to remember. I judged people fast. Clothes, title, posture, that was enough information for me. He wore the same gray shirts. Same quiet face. Never rushed. Never explained himself. I decided he was nobody important. Case closed. What I didn't notice, what I refused to notice, was how every department manager greeted him differently than they greeted me. Softer. More careful. I told myself it was pity. I was wrong. It was respect. And respect, I would learn, isn't loud. It's quiet enough to miss completely. It became a habit. Small jabs. Quick dismissals. One Tuesday, he held the elevator for me. I walked past it. Took the stairs instead. 6 flights. Just to avoid 2 minutes beside him. Another time, in the break room, he reached for the same coffee pot. I pulled it back first. There's another pot upstairs, I said. For staff. He didn't argue. Just poured water instead. Left quietly. Priya saw it happen. Said nothing. But her face said enough. I told myself I wasn't cruel. Just efficient. Boundaries mattered in a company this size. At a team lunch, someone mentioned his name, Daniel. I hadn't bothered learning it until then. Daniel's actually really sharp, a junior analyst said. He helped me fix a supply chain report last week. I laughed. Sharp enough to fix a printer, maybe. The table went quiet again. That same quiet. I didn't notice how often that happened around him. 3 weeks later, HR sent a memo. New security clearance protocols. Executive floor access expanding. Daniel's badge was on the list. I assumed it was a mistake. Halden Group was hosting its 10th anniversary gala. Investors. Board members. Press. I was chosen to give the opening speech. My name went out on the invitations. I spent 2 weeks preparing. Rehearsed every line in the mirror. The night arrived. Chandeliers. Champagne towers. 300 guests in the main hall. I wore navy. Sharp heels. My hair pulled back tight. Priya found me backstage. Daniel's on the guest list, she said. I frowned. Why would maintenance be invited? She didn't answer. Just handed me my notes and walked off. I scanned the crowd from the side curtain. Found him near the bar. Gray suit this time, not a shirt. Still unremarkable, I told myself. The MC called my name. Applause rippled through the room. I stepped onto the stage. Lights hit my face. I saw Daniel near the front now. Closer than before. Watching me directly. Something in his posture had changed. Steadier. Unbothered by the room. I didn't understand it yet. I smiled at the crowd. Opened my mouth to speak. I had no idea what I was about to do, in front of everyone who mattered. I thanked the board. Thanked the investors. Then I made a joke. 10 years ago, this company started with 5 people and a dream, I said. Now we've got 500 employees, and apparently, we let anyone through the front door. A few laughs. I kept going. Earlier this year, I found our maintenance staff sitting in on strategy meetings. Taking notes like they were running the place. I looked straight at Daniel. No offense to the man fixing our elevators, but some of us actually earned our seat at that table. The room laughed harder this time. Someone clapped. I felt it. That rush. That control. Daniel didn't laugh. He didn't look away either. He set his glass down. Stood. Buttoned his jacket. The room noticed before I did, a shift, a hush spreading from the front row backward. He walked toward the stage. Slow. Certain. Every step landing in silence. He reached the microphone stand beside me. Actually, he said, voice calm, I think it's time I introduced myself properly. My smile froze. The chandelier lights suddenly felt too bright. Daniel turned to face the crowd. Not me. My name is Daniel Halden, he said. I founded this company 11 years ago in my garage. The room went still. Glasses stopped clinking. I felt my stomach drop. I've spent the last 2 years walking these floors quietly, he continued. Fixing doors. Fixing printers. Watching how people treat those they think don't matter. He glanced at me then. Just once. It tells you everything about someone's character. Nobody laughed now. Nobody moved. I opened my mouth. Nothing came out. Priya stood near the side curtain, hand over her mouth. A board member near the front lowered his glass slowly, eyes darting between us. Daniel turned back to the crowd. Tonight isn't about that, though. Tonight is about celebrating what we've built together. He smiled at the room. Warm. Effortless. Then he stepped off the stage. I stood there under the lights. 300 faces staring at me. Nobody clapped. I don't remember walking off stage. I just remember the silence following me the entire way. That silence would follow me for weeks. I didn't sleep that night. Replayed every second on loop. The next morning, I walked into the office expecting whispers. I got worse, silence. People who used to greet me looked away instead. Conversations stopped when I entered rooms. Priya avoided eye contact at her desk. Is he here today? I asked her. He's always here, she said quietly. You just never noticed which door he walked through. I went to my office. Locked the door. Opened my laptop. I searched his name. Daniel Holden. Articles came up instantly. Founder profiles. An interview from 3 years ago, the CEO who still answers his own emails. A photo loaded. Same face. Same quiet eyes. My hands went cold. I scrolled further. Company records. Board filings. His name on every major decision for the past decade. I'd been reporting to him without knowing it. Approving budgets he'd already reviewed twice. A knock came at my door. HR director, arms crossed. We need you in a meeting, she said. Now. I grabbed my badge. My hands were shaking. I already knew this wasn't a meeting about scheduling. The HR office felt smaller than usual. Fluorescent lights buzzing overhead. The director sat across from me. Folder closed on the desk between us. You're aware of what happened last night, she said. I nodded. Throat tight. Mr. Holden hasn't requested termination, she continued. Not yet. Not yet. Those 2 words sat heavy in my chest. He's asked for a formal review of your conduct history instead. Complaints. Patterns. Interactions with staff. My mind raced backward. Every dismissive comment. Every eye roll. Every time I'd made someone feel small. I hadn't thought anyone was keeping track. There's also this, she said, sliding a printed email across the table. An internal complaint. Filed 8 months ago. By Daniel himself. Detailing an incident in the break room. The coffee pot. My exact words. I stared at it, stomach twisting. Why wasn't I told? I asked. You were his test, she said simply. He wanted to see how power changes people when they think no one's watching. I sat in silence. I'd failed a test I didn't know I was taking. And now, everyone would know it too. 2 days later, Daniel called me into his office. The real one. Top floor. Glass walls overlooking the city. I'd walked past that floor 100 times. Never once questioned why I'd never been invited up. He gestured to the chair across from his desk. I sat. You're probably wondering why I didn't fire you on the spot, he said. I nodded. Couldn't speak yet. Because embarrassment teaches faster than punishment, he said. I've watched you build a career on making people feel small. I wanted you to feel it once. My eyes burned. I blinked hard, refusing to cry in front of him. I'm not proud of what I did, I said finally. I judged you before I knew anything. You judged people before you knew anything, he corrected. I was just the one who happened to own the building. Silence stretched between us. So what happens now? I asked. He leaned back. That depends on what you do next. Not what you say. What you do. He slid a folder across the desk. My employment status. Under review. You have 30 days, he said. Show me who you really are. Word spread fast. By Friday, the whole building knew. People who used to fear me now watched me differently. Not with hatred. With curiosity. Like I was a cautionary tale walking the halls. My title stayed the same. My authority didn't. Meetings I used to lead, I now sat quietly through. Decisions I used to make, others made without asking me first. Priya requested a transfer to a different department. She didn't explain why. She didn't need to. At home, it got worse. My sister called, laughing. Someone had posted a video from the gala online. 500,000 views by the weekend. The comments were brutal. Accurate, mostly. That was the worst part. I stopped going to the gym at 5 a.m. Stopped answering calls from old coworkers who wanted details, not concern. 3 weeks into my 30 days, a report crossed my desk. A team I'd once dismissed had solved a supply chain problem I'd called impossible for years. Led by a name I recognized. Someone I'd once told to stick to fixing printers. I read the report twice. Then I picked up the phone. It was time to make a call I should have made months ago. I called the analyst first. Told him his report was the best thing I'd read all year. Meant it. He was quiet for a second. Then he said thanks. Nothing more. I didn't expect forgiveness. I hadn't earned it yet. On day 29, I walked back into Daniel's office. No folder this time. Just me. I'm not asking to keep my title, I said. I'm asking for a chance to earn it back. Differently. He studied me for a long moment. Why should I believe you've changed? You shouldn't, I said. Not from words. Watch what I do instead. He didn't smile. Didn't nod. Just gestured toward the door. Then get back to work. That was 6 months ago. I still work at Halden Group. Different floor now. Different role. I answer to people I once looked down on. Daniel and I don't talk much. When we do, it's brief. Professional. Respectful. I think about that gala often. The applause. The silence after. I learned the hard way that power isn't what you hold over people. It's what you do when you think no one's watching. That's the story. If it moved you, subscribe, there's more like this coming.